All
Hi,
right.
Ash. Good to meet you. Yeah.
Good to meet you, Rama. Tell me
Yeah.
what you're working on. Go ahead.
Yeah. Do you have your Bluetooth earbud,
Yes, I
and
do.
the charger?
Yes.
Put
Oh,
the
yes.
earbud in, take them out all day long.
Yes.
What
It's
if you
annoying.
didn't have to carry this around? What
Mm,
if I could just put my Bluetooth hearing on in the morning and be able
mm,
to make hands-free phone call, listen to music, podcasts, get urgent alerts and notifications all day
mm,
safely?
mm,
Yeah, I don't, my dresses don't have pockets,
mm.
many
Yes.
of them.
Yes.
I'm Rama Prasad, founder CEO of Teqnizan.
Okay.
That is the vision of convenient and natural audio connection that inspired us to launch Teqnizan, which is technology added to artisan design. At Teqnizan, we are developing Bluetooth audio earrings in many different forms and designs, like expected from jewelry, with materials like metals, crystals, pearl, artwork. So the customer can have beautiful and crystal clear sound on their earlobes all day long, hands free.
Excellent. What are you looking for, Rama? Tell me are you looking for investment? Are you,
Yeah, we are seeking $1 million in investment to do our production design. We've made a lot of progress with prototyping and patenting, as well as beta customer testing. And now we're getting ready to go into production and start selling from our website,
excellent.
e-commerce website.
Excellent. And how much does a product cost, by the way, Rama? Tell me about that.
Yeah, so we haven't completely finalized or solidified that. We think somewhere around 150, somewhere around that price point.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Excellent. Rama, thank you for sharing. And I just wanted to note it's always great to have female entrepreneurs joining us. This year, we've been trying to reach out, and over the last year and a half, we want to reach out to as many females because they're underrepresented. As well as people of color, right?
Yep.
It's very much underrepresented. So, Rama, thank you for sharing and joining. Let's give some feedback, if we may, Rama. When I think about what you're doing, first of all, when I think about products of today are basically developed for middle-aged men. Okay, right? When you think about most of the tech products that are made for today, they're made for middle-aged men. But when we think about consumerism and we think about people buying online, you have women are the ones that are kind of driving e-commerce, and there is a difference. We talk about equality, but when it comes to buying online and activity, women are definitely in the forefront. Products are not made for them. And so we live in a world today where a lot of the things that we decide to do are one and the same, right? And everyone has these Apple AirPod, right? Everyone has one of these Apple AirPods or these over the ear, okay? Right? For a woman that loves her hairstyle, the
Yep.
Bose earphones are terrible, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
And so when I think about it, I think about that's the kind of the number one thing, right? It's, we live in a world where it's a very kind of male dominated, right? Okay. But the other thing is technology is now evolved as well. And so what I think that's happening when I think about what you're doing, and Ram, I didn't come out in your pitch, but what I sense that you've done is you are creating a modular plug and play platform for smart jewelry. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I think modular is exactly how we are approaching it at first. There are trade-offs, and we've really kind of understood the design space here.
Sure.
So the integrated approach makes it smaller, more lightweight,
Sure.
but the modular approach helps us support a lot more designs and
Yeah.
artwork. So the,
Yeah.
the the metal layer can be designed artistically like lace almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are making it modular, and that does support a range of design, which is an artwork, which is an expectation from jewelry.
Excellent. So that's kind of what I think, because when they're paying for something, it's kind of going to be that next generation platform where the jewelry makers are going to be partnering up with you.
Yep.
Does that make sense? Because you got to do one thing right. You can't be a jewelry designer, okay, as well as a Bluetooth manufacturer, right? You still see, for instance, Bose that has the technology partnering up with Ray-Ban who do the glasses, right? You know, because you can't do both. And the other
exactly.
thing, so being able to have the modular process and then inviting the top jewelers. So another thing around it is about traction, Rama, right? So one thing that it would have been interesting to add, right? Another soundbite is around interest in what you're doing. Interest could be defined as, you know, we have, 10 of the top 100 jewelry design, earring jewelry design people in the United States interested in designing for us. Or we have, I have a list of 1,000 women that have signed up for testing the product because there's interest in it. Okay.
Yeah, we do have traction. So we've done beta testing with hundreds of users, women. They absolutely like the fact that, you know, they can hear it from their earlobe, they can wear it like earring, and we've gotten the feedback, so we know what to prioritize. And from jewelry brand perspective, we have communicated with several jewelry brands locally here in the Midwest and even globally. And there is strong interest because, you know, this hasn't been done before. So the jewelry brands want to see how it gets done, you know, and how it's actually implemented and made into a real solution. And so there's definitely strong interest and pull. There's big brands like Tanishq in India, a couple of newer brands in India. And then here locally, Verizon is supporting us. And, some of the local jewelry brands here, both very small custom jewelry as well as larger brands have expressed strong interest. It's exciting differentiation for them, the jewelry brands. And that's why we are very confident to work on it.
So a couple of things around that, right? When I think about traction, it for me, I want to keep it as simple and for the investor as possible. And so the way I look at what you're doing is you would get the funding, you would probably have 5 to 10 superstar influencer brands, jewelry designers that would work with you. You could create some prototype content and allow them to push it to their social media kind of execution and get pre-orders around what you're doing. Okay. And then from 10, you might get your first kind of 1,000 orders, and 1,000 is your minimum order quantity to make yourself relevant in China if you're going to Shenzhen to develop what you're doing. Okay. And that's kind of how I would see it working in terms of the use of funds, right? Because you need $2 million. Is that right?
No, I'm asking for $1 million. Because we've done a lot of the development already.
Awesome.
So it's really just finalizing the production version of the design.
Now, Rama, the other thing that's missing, Rama, is, and for some reason, Bala had the same problem. Rama, why are you the best person on the planet to make this happen? Are you some random axe throwing
Viking?
person?
No, I'm not an axe thrower. No.
I mean, that's what we do in Canada, right? Are you just some random person, Rama, that wants to do this? That's looking for money? Or are you a qualified person with credentials to make this work? Are you the ultimate hacker from the who you are in terms of your background, your education, your work experience, and the fact that you're female? Or are you just some random person, Rama?
Absolutely. I am a female, but I do have a lot of experience in this hardware and consumer electronics. I would say a successful career. I got my PhD from Cornell University in sensors. And then I worked for Hewlett Packard, one of the biggest consumer electronics company, and had leadership roles there, developed many generations of the printer. And then most recently, I was the lab manager for Advanced Research Lab of Wireless and Sensor Technology. So yeah, I have a very deep.
Right. But Rama, is that important in your elevator pitch? Rama, do you think that's important in your elevator pitch?
Yeah.
Right. Like credibility is so important. And what I find is, you're in Minnesota. Okay. So that's interesting. Right.
Yeah. So Minnesota, by the way, has a lot of hardware know-how because medical devices is big here.
Yes,
and medical
correct.
Devices.
Not many people know this though, Rama, right? Okay. We think about Minnesota is like Toronto. It's just cold. it's a cold place. So what I'm saying is that needs to come out as well. Okay. And so I'm going to try to give your pitch as a female, by the way, okay, if that's all right. It might be a little bit awkward, but I want that to come out, right? I'm going to pitch the idea. I want to talk about this male-dominated world. I'm going to talk about the modularization and how me, as a PhD in sensors and somebody who's worked in the last 20 years with big companies like HP, I'm going to be the one that make this a reality. Okay, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to hit up the top of the elevator, and this is fun. This is my 7th pitch in the last hour and a half. I hope I remember what I need to say. You're looking for $1 million, right?
Yes.
Rama?
Yes.
Okay. To transform the space. All right. We're going to hit the top. And once we hit the top, you can just introduce yourself and we'll get started. All right. Over to you, Rama.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Rama Prasad, the Queen of Minneapolis. Good to meet you,
Your
Ash.
Majesty. Thank you for making the time to meet with me today. My name is Ash Singh, and I'm part of the Teqnizan team. As you might know, as the Queen, you know that in technology today, everything is dominated by designs and concepts that are focused to satisfy the middle-aged man. Okay. And, over the last 20 years, as somebody that's done a PhD in sensors and spent the last 10, 15 years at companies like HP building products, I've been asking myself the same question over and over again. And that is why we are not creating technology for the people that actually lead the charge in e-commerce, and that's women. And so we've created the first product for this. What we've done is we've created a modular plug and play solution for Bluetooth earrings. Okay. And I know you're a big fan of earrings. As the Queen, you have a great selection, but what we wanted to do was make jewelry, starting with earrings, smart, allow people to express their style, allow them to elevate their self, their confidence, and whatever they want to say, and design concepts specifically for women. We've actually been able to create some beautiful prototypes, and we've got some great traction from some of the top jewelry designers around the world. And what we want to do is raise $1 million to get our prototypes to market. Okay. We know that this is something that's going to make a big change in the world. And we feel that the next generation of smart hardware should be focused on helping other people that are not just the middle-aged men in the United States. Would love to chat with you over a coffee, as well as allow you to test and prototype one of our first smart earring designs. Thank you. All right, Rama. So that is my attempt. I wove in a couple of things, the modular plug and play, that piece. I wove in your background. Okay, who you are. And I also talked about this problem. Okay, so Rama, the thing when I think about what you're doing, sometimes when people invest, they just want to make money. Okay, but the Queen of Minnesota and a lot of the rich, successful women in the Valley, okay, also want to make a statement. Okay, they want to get behind you because they want to make a statement, Rama, and that needs to come out in your elevator pitch. Okay, the reality is the people that you need to reach out to, Rama, I would suggest talk to the hardware people and have that list, but also let's find women that are interested, Silicon Valley women that want to get behind this and say, yeah, right? I want to walk into a boardroom, and when all the men are wearing Apple AirPods, I got my stuff handled as well. Okay. right? You know, and they don't even know that I'm wearing it. They think it's earrings while my kids are calling me, right? You know, I love that. There's a beautiful thing around this, right, Rama? Like when I look at this, we live in a very interesting world, and I believe that the role of, you know, we talk about equality, the role of, like, I look at my wife, she has to wear way more hats than I do. And so I think there's a beautiful commercial of yours where there's a woman in a boardroom full of men, and she's got these earrings on, and she's carrying herself with grace and delivering really good stuff. But what's happening is in between, her children are calling her.
Yeah.
No one knows.
Yeah.
and
That
you know,
is the real, yeah.
she's managing all this stuff, but she's got everything under control. And you know, that's the vision I have for what you're doing, right? How do, you know, when people talk about empowering people, right? You want to empower women, okay? Empower them, right? You know, but also recognize that beauty matters, right? And all these components. So bringing that out, right, Rama, I think is beautiful for what you're doing. Okay. But I want these elements to come out, and I want you to have this position that we're not just going to make money and do something cool and all that stuff, but we are going to have this thing where, you know, if you are that superstar executive woman, okay, this is part of what you're doing, right? Okay. Yeah. If you remember back in the day, way back in the day when HP introduced, you know, cell phones, those big brick cell phones that were connected to your car, it was a statement. Okay, that I am important enough that I need to take calls from my car. Okay, and then you know, this can be a statement just as much as a cool technology, Rama. This is where the hipster component comes in to what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
So thank you again, Rama. Exciting to work with what you're doing, and again, this can raise money. Let's zero in on the right people that we need to have as part of this, and let's rock and roll, Rama. Thank you very much. Okay. And we wish you all the success in what you're trying to do. Okay. And always great to have, you know, role models, female role models that are creating some amazing stuff in the tech hardware space. Okay. It's awesome to see that, Rama. So thank you for your time today. Thank you very much.